Right then. Okay. In fact, let me just take my watch off. Get a little bit more comfortable here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is that in focus? Yes, that seems to be in focus. Right, let me get my stuff out. My little notes for today's episode. Today's special Patreon episode. And as always, a bit of a disclaimer. This is going to be a largely unedited, unscripted, unfiltered episode, which hopefully you want to see. But it's a good chance, obviously, to get in touch with me and speak to me and find out what's going on. Now, you may notice that my voice is a bit... and that's because I've got a little bit of a cold. Very slight cold. But hopefully today's whiskey choice is going to help me out. Now, today, I've actually gone for this, which is a Laphroaig 4 Oak. Now, I love Laphroaig. Laphroaig is one of my favourites. It tastes just like TCP, and it's actually extremely medicinal. Now, when I was in Scotland recently, I found out the history of this. This was allowed to be sold during Prohibition in America because it was so medicinal. They actually sold it as a medicine. So they got around the tax laws and the ban of alcohol and stuff by making it medicinal. Anyway, I digress. The 4 Oak is a lovely version of Laphroaig. It's very, very woody, very easy to drink, and it really does taste like a wood shop. Very nice. So if you like the smell of wood, this is wonderful. Apparently, this is a travel retail exclusive. Don't know what that means, but if you can get hold of this, it's beautiful, and it comes in 1 litre bottles as well, which is different. Normally, it's just 70 centilitres, but it smells woody. Really smooth, really easy to drink. Lovely. Anyway, moving on. So, my opening statement for today is I am super sorry. I really am. This is massively delayed. I think I missed one in September, and now it's middle of October. And you may know why, you may not know why, but all of September I was away in Scotland, and this had been a trip that I'd been planning for a very long time. Years, in fact. I wanted to get a camper van and do a tour of Scotland. But consequently, that meant that before I went to Scotland, I needed to film 3.5 weeks worth of content to go live whilst I was in Scotland. So things like the AM1 Plus review, the Digioptics, the Recover It, the Echo Wall Clock, what else was there? And a few other episodes. They were all done really tight, packed, rush time before I went away. Because obviously during August I was still doing all my current videos, but had to make these extra ones. So I was super swamped. And it just, unfortunately, I missed the date that I was supposed to be filming for this. I got back and I intended to do it pretty much straight away, and I was thrown into the deep end. Amazon released a bunch of new devices. I had a bunch of cases that I needed to review for all the new phones that have just been released, mainly Apple ones. But all in all, I was super swamped, and I've only just gotten around to actually sitting down, taking a breather, getting my pyjamas on, pouring myself a whiskey, and enjoying a chat with you, which I hope you're doing right now. And if you're not in your pyjamas, I'm not angry with you, I'm just disappointed. Anyway, that's over. No, it's not. I am really sorry, genuinely super sorry, and I will try next month to be a bit more timeful and get you out a special episode next month in November, because you guys mean the world to me. You really do, and I want to stay in touch with you. And I want you to know what's going on. Right, let's talk about what's going on. I've had to write it down, as always, because I've got so much going on, I can never remember. Let's see. Okay. Oh, let's talk quickly about Scotland, actually. When I was there, I was intending on doing some whiskey reviews for my other channel, Stu's Reviews Travel. Unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to do so because I was super rushed. We actually got halfway round the whole journey and the van broke down, so we were put back at least a week in terms of what we could do and what we could achieve. So unfortunately I wasn't able to, but that is still in the planning phase, and I am intending on doing whiskey reviews at some point soon. But I did get like 2 days on Islay, which is where I have most of my whiskies from. Camellia, Lafroig, Lagavulin, Bunnahabhain, Killoman and Lafroig, Four Oak, the one I'm drinking now, are all from a Scottish island called Islay, and they make the most beautiful whiskies. They really, really, really do. And I went round a handful of the distilleries in about 2 days. If you are in Scotland and you like whiskey, go to Islay. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Some of the tours are fantastic, and it was really, really interesting to learn how whiskey was made, because I love the taste, I love drinking it, but I've never really given it much thought. Fascinating, it really, really is. What's super interesting is actually how different the tastes are, or how different the tastes come out of it, or how... No, this isn't making sense. I'm not speaking English today, am I? What's amazing is all the different tastes that come out of the different manufacturing processes for whiskey. It's very, very bizarre, and kind of makes me think about making my own. Although that is illegal, I think. Right, okay, moving on from whiskey. We've spoken enough about that. Let's talk about last month's videos. So, you saw in the last Patron episode that I did behind the scenes of the AM1 Plus, which I hadn't released at that point. Now that that's out, I'd love to know what you thought of it. I really put a lot of effort into that, trying to get a really cool intro shot, really cool kind of test shots, and really cool conclusion shots. So I'd love to know what you think about that. Now, I've got a few more reviews coming up as well, which are going to have very similar kind of shots and epicness, if you will. I've got 3 electric scooters, in fact, to review. I've got the 9-Bot Max, which is actually right here. Hold on. Oh, my God. You can hear the bell. I can't show you. I've got the Kugu S1, which is down there. And I've also got something called the Flow.X, or I think they've actually changed the name to the Manitor, which is a prototype. But supposedly you can wheel that on just one wheel, so it carries itself. I don't really understand. It's got self-balancing things in it. We'll find out more about that. But those are going to be some fantastic reviews, and I've got some really good stuff planned. I've actually got a couple of collaborations as well planned for the scooters, so watch this space. What else have we got? Okay, yes. So let's talk about the recovery episode. Now, this episode didn't actually do that well on the channel, which was a bit disappointing, because I thought you guys might find it interesting, but obviously not. Doesn't matter. It's not a problem. But if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth a watch, because it's actually quite funny. In the episode, I make Sam search for a saucy image of myself. Now, I'm going to stop you right there. If you haven't seen that episode, go and watch it now, because I will spoil it for you in the next 5-10 seconds or so. I'll give you 5 seconds to click off this if you haven't seen that episode, and I will link it there for you. 4, 3, 2, 1... Okay, so now you're back, or maybe you've already seen it. I sent Sam on a mission to hunt for a deleted image on my camera, which was a saucy image of me. Now, saucy obviously meant tomato sauce, not a naked version of me, because that would be very lewd, but a saucy version of me. And obviously it was me putting tomato sauce in my mouth, and I actually have a behind-the-scenes video for you showing you that. Believe me, you do not want to eat tomato sauce. It was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. Oh, this is absolutely disgusting. Why am I doing this?
Does that put you off ketchup?
Oh my God. I don't like tomato sauce. All I can say is never, ever, ever eat tomato sauce like that. It was awful. I'm still having horrible taste memories, if that's the thing, of it. It was disgusting. Okay, moving on to more upcoming stuff. Obviously, you've seen my Echo 3rd generation review, which I posted last night. I've also got tomorrow an Echo Dot 3rd generation with clock coming tomorrow. And on order, I also have the Echo Studio, the Echo... What's it called? Something like a tap or something? What was it called? Hold on. They've got another weird device. And what is it called now? I've ordered it, but it was weird. What is it called? Let's have a look. Echo Flex, which is that there. Basically, it looks something like a sort of, I don't really know, introducing Echo Flex, plug-in smart Alexa. It looks like a really, really, really tiny budget version of Dot. It's got a tiny, tiny speaker on it. I think it has a USB plug in it as well, does it? I think it might also extend your Wi-Fi. I can't remember. I don't know where that's going to fit in the whole Amazon range, but I've got one of those coming. I've got the Studio coming, if I haven't said that already. So I'm really, really excited to get a couple of those reviews up. And as well, I don't know if you noticed, but at the beginning I took my watch off. This is the Amazfit GTR. And so far, I can promise you it's not disappointed. The only thing I would say straight away about it, though, is the strap. This is my own strap that I've put on it, because the strap that it came with was absolutely disgusting. It was like a rubbery leather. It wasn't really leather at all. But the watch itself is phenomenal, and I cannot wait to share that review with you. That will be coming possibly next week if I've got the time. But time is of essence with everything. But you know what? Overall, I am exhausted. I need a holiday from my holiday. But going away for such a long time has made things extremely knackering, because I've been trying to squeeze everything in before I went, and now I'm trying to squeeze everything after I've gotten back. If you run your own business or your own YouTube channel, never go on holiday. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. That is a lovely whiskey. My dogs are about to bark in a minute because I think someone's just come home. Nope, I think we're okay. But overall, yeah, do not go on holiday. It's just not worth it. But do you know what? Sincerely taking it aside, take time to breathe. Take time to breathe. And that's something that I think I've learned whilst going on holiday. Because forever I'm checking my metrics, my numbers, refreshing the page all the time to see what's going on with my videos and my subscriber count. And you become quite obsessive over this sort of thing. So if you do YouTube or you do anything like this, just take a breather. Even if you're on social media all the time, take a breather, because it was great. I kind of put it out of my mind. Sam, in fact, was great. So Sam, if you're watching this, thank you very much, because Sam took care of all the comments and stuff while I was away, making sure that anyone abusive was deleted off the channel immediately. But to be fair, I don't get many abusive comments at all, despite the fact I'm balding. I'd expect more comments about my baldingness, but I'm happy. Going back to the collaboration stuff I was talking about a few minutes ago, do me a favour, if you know of a YouTube channel that you think we could collaborate with, or I don't know, you'd like to see me collaborate with, tweet them and me on Twitter for me. Because it's so hard to find people to collaborate with. I mean, I've got a couple of people now that I'm working on some content with, so stay tuned on that. I'm really, really excited for that. I'm not going to tell you just yet. I'm going to leave that a surprise. You may know two of them. I don't think you'll know one of them. And there goes the dogs. Let me introduce you to one of them. Opal, come here. Opal, come here. Oh, this is one of them. This is the biggest teddy bear that you'll ever see. Isn't that right, Opal Popal? Look, on the camera. What do you think? She is adorable, and she's like a big teddy bear, aren't you? Yes, and you're really excited someone's home, aren't you? You're really, really excited somebody's home. Yes, you are. Anyway, this is turning out to be an interesting episode, isn't it? You stink. This is her curse. She's probably one of the most cuddly dogs in the world, but she smells really bad. Oh, someone's home. Right. Oh, my Lord. All right. So calm down. Go on then, go find out who it is. Go on then. Go on then. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not stopping you. Go on. Go on then. Opal, go on then. Go and find out who it is. I'm not... Look, Opal, go on and find out. Lunatic. I'm going to pause it here because she's going to make too much noise. Oh, right, okay. I've got an headache now. What was I doing? What was I talking about before my dog interrupted me? Where am I? Okay, let's have a look on here. What else have I got to talk about? Oh, yes. More products. Sorry about that. I can't remember what I was talking about, so I'm moving on to something else. I think I was talking about the GTR. I've also got the GTS coming. Now, the GTS is what really, really excites me because it's gold stainless steel. Now, gold is always my favourite colour of metal, always. I mean, I like the silver of the GTR stainless steel. It's really, really nice. I mean, it just looks superb. It really, really, really does. Looks so good. But I do like gold. Bit blingy, but I think gold is elegant and sophisticated. What was that noise? So I'm really, really excited to test that. And I think... well, I'm hoping that it is going to be an Amazfit Bip killer because I still love the Amazfit Bip. I think it's such a solid smartwatch for the price you pay for it. It really is the Casio of smartwatches, but I think that the GTS could very well be a killer. Now, we had a really, really good month last month with subscribers. Currently, we're on about 22,000. Now, annoyingly, YouTube has changed the way it displays subscriber counters, so this no longer counts up by the one. Instead, I've got the thousands on top, and you'll see this number change, but not those two. That's because it only counts up in 100s. Which is really annoying, but at the same time, I kind of get it. It means that I'm not constantly checking my subscriber count. I can still see my actual subscriber count in the Studio app, but the fact that that doesn't show the exact amount anymore has made that meant that I don't check it as much, which is quite nice. But 22,000 subscribers, really, really cool. And you know what? I couldn't do it without you guys, because you guys are incredible. But, and here's the big but, I'm trying to get that to say 30,000 before the end of the year. Now, I'm halfway through October, which gives me 2.5 months to get to 30,000. Now, I'm hoping if I can do a couple of collabs, that'll give me a good boost. But I reckon I'm on track at the moment to hit about 25,000. So I'm going to be 5,000 off my goal for the end of the year, which is a bit annoying because I'm really, really, really trying to make that 30,000. So, as a big ask, guys, if you have any family members or friends that haven't heard of Stu's Reviews, just force them to subscribe at gunpoint if you can, or use a knife or an axe or something. Don't do that. And if you do that, don't tell the police that I told you to do that. But definitely get as many people to subscribe as possible because I need your support. Hopefully we'll get there. But we'll have to see what happens in the next month and a half, 2 months and a half. I'm not that upset if I don't hit 30,000. But it'd be really, really nice to do so. Now, on to the Ask Me Anything. Right, let's start with a question from Kev. Okay, now Kev is from the YouTube channel Click Tech UK. And Kev, I hope your channel is going fantastic. I did send you a message. Actually, here's one thing before you go on to the AMA. Messages on Patreon, I don't know if they're working or not. Now, I don't know if they're working or not, because I've sent a couple of messages to you guys and don't seem to have a reply. And as well, I've had a few messages come through on my end, and I've not seen a notification for them. Nothing has popped up, so I've been late to get back to them. So if you're watching this video right now, check in your inbox. You may have a message from me, especially a couple of you who are still waiting for their silver tier package. I know, Uday, you haven't got back to me yet on your t-shirt size or your dress. Or you haven't replied to the message that I've sent you, so get back to me as soon as you can. And a couple of you as well, if you see I've got a message, just hit that reply. And actually, I think there's a couple of you still waiting on Xiaomi bags from me. Now, at the moment, annoyingly, I still haven't got hold of any. I've ordered them twice now from 2 different suppliers, and they still haven't come, so I'm getting quite frustrated with this. But for those that are still waiting, just send me a quick message, and what I'll probably do is order them directly to you so that you can get hold of them a little bit quicker. So let me know if you're still yet to receive one of those. Now, back to this. So, Kev from ClickTech UK has asked me, when I go on holiday or travelling, what's the first piece of tech I'd pack? Ooh, really good question. Other than my phone, obviously, because that's always in my pocket, I would say this. This is the Mavic Air, which is the best drone ever. I love this thing. It is great. It's relatively expensive. It's about £600-700 you could probably pick this up for. But it's phenomenal. I think for the price, you can get some cracking shots with it. And any drone shots you see on the channel have been filmed on this bad boy. And actually, I haven't crashed it, and I've had this now like 2 years. Because of the amount of sensors on it, it makes it nearly an uncrashable drone, except for Sam, because he's crashed it a couple of times. Not this one, his own. But to be honest, I'm going to be completely honest there, that's usually because I ask him to do some ridiculously complicated flight manoeuvre to get some epic shot. And you know what? He never complains. So, Sam, thank you very much for those amazing shots. But this, I think, is always the first piece of tech I look at packing, because it's just cool. It's such a good drone. I think another thing that I always take with me, actually, is this GoPro Hero Session. Now, they don't make these anymore. They make lots of different GoPros, but the reason I like the Hero Session is because it doesn't have a screen on it. And I think when you're on holiday, you don't want to be looking at the back of a screen all the time. I think we spend too much time sitting there with our phones, getting the right composition. We miss what's going on around us. With this, you press the button on the top and it starts recording. It doesn't do the best job in the world. It's not the best camera. But it means that I can document things as I go along and not really have to worry about the composition. Just press a button and off I go. So this is a fantastic little product. And if you can still get hold of one, which might be a little bit more difficult because they are discontinued, get hold of one, because they were about £100 when they come out. Cheap as chips, and such a good little thing to use. And it's waterproof. You can literally just take it as it is, throw it in the water, and you're good to go. So, really, really cool. Right, moving on. I hope that answers the question. And like I said, Kev, let me know how the channel's going. Right, we've got Phil. Phil Collins. Okay, Phil, you've asked, what do I do with all the stuff that I review? Do you have a cupboard brimming with headphones? The answer is yes, I do have currently a area that is currently a bomb site of stuff. To be honest, I've got stuff everywhere, from headphones to speakers. What have I got near me? Actually, I've got nothing near me. It's mostly on the desk over in that direction. Okay, I've got nothing near me. Now, the thing is, I used to get rid of lots of it. I used to sell it or give it away or whatever. But I don't anymore. And the reason being is too often did I get rid of something, then realise actually I need to refer back to it. I need to use it in a comparison video. And it meant I had to buy the stuff again. And I was losing money like you wouldn't believe. So I generally keep all the stuff I get sent now, all the stuff that I buy, so I can refer back to it at a later date. I don't think I'm going to be doing that for much longer because you've seen the amount of stuff that I have. And someone suggested last Patreon episode that I create some kind of Patreon exclusive like garage sale or store, and that was a fantastic idea. Can't remember who suggested that now, but it was a wonderful idea, and I've been thinking about that in the back of my head, and I think that's something that I'm going to do, but I actually don't know how to approach that. So if you're watching this, whoever it was who posted that last month, tell me how I need to do that or how I can do that, because I'd love to do that. And I'd love to do it before Christmas as well, so you can get your hands on some cheap tech that I don't use anymore. Probably used tech, some of it, but hardly used, mostly new. But yeah, let me know how I do that, because I would love to do that for you and give you access to an exclusive Patreon-only garage sale of everything that I have. Okay, now, Gabba. Gabba's asked, have I found out what the item in this unboxing was? What on earth is this? It's just packets and packets of weird dongly things. Well, this is extremely weird. What is all of this? Gabba, I still have no idea what the hell that lot was for. I never got sent another product that could go in it or anything like that. I assumed it was some sort of housing for like outdoor cameras or something, because it came with a bucket load of memory cards, but there were no cameras. And I haven't had any cameras in like that that can fit inside them. So it's so weird. So weird. I just get sent the weirdest stuff in the world. And don't get me wrong, I love it. I enjoy opening weird stuff like that, but it is very, very strange, and I still don't know what they are to this day. In fact, I don't even know where they're gone. I think I've hidden them somewhere in a dark corner. But you've also said, am I as interested as you are about the Amazfit GTS? Yes is the answer. As I've said, I think it could be the Amazfit Bip killer. But for now, I'm really loving this GTR. So, like I said, stay tuned for all of those. I cannot wait. And the last question is from Stuart Bacon. What is that black mark on your right hand? Now, I don't know if many of you have noticed this, but I have a mark on my hand. And it's not a mark. It's actually... As you can see that. Can you see that yet? There we go. It's actually a tattoo of an eye. Well, not specifically an eye. It's actually an Egyptian hieroglyphic called the Eye of Horus, the wounded eye of Horus anyway. Now, I have this tattoo because, believe it or not, I used to be an archaeologist. Not just studying archaeology, I was an archaeologist in the north of England for about 3 years, and I had a huge passion for Egyptian archaeology. In fact, if you don't believe me, I have on the shelf, which I don't know if you've ever noticed, this, which is my little memorabilia here, my archaeologist trowel. I love this thing. As you can see, I've used this a lot. I'm used to flipping it around my hand like this. Not so good as I used to be. And I used to be able to throw it in the ground as well and stick it in. But that was good. Still got a bit of mud or rust. I think that's possibly rust now. No, that might be mud still on it. But this baby didn't look like this originally. It was like this big. And it was worn right down. So I did a lot of archaeology. And I worked for a company for about 3 years some time ago. Why do I not still do that? Well, I don't know. I don't know why I still do that. It was hard work, very, very hard work, and the pay was terrible, actually. It's one of the lowest paid professions in the world. And again, the thing is, with archaeology, academic people or academic archaeology has destroyed commercial archaeology because they use free labour, basically. Anyway, moving on, that's another disgruntled episode at some point about archaeology. This on my hand here is a throwback to that time when I loved archaeology and was really, really sort of embedded in that whole history. And what I mean, I still love it now, but obviously now I'm more future thinking than past thinking. This is the only tattoo that I have. And it was one of those kind of spur-of-the-moment things. I'll get a tattoo. Do I regret it? Well, not particularly, no. I don't even notice it's there, to be honest. And I don't think many people notice it either. Except you. You noticed it, Stuart. Yeah. Interesting. Not many people ask about it. I don't think it's kind of something they notice very much. Anyway, so that ends today's AMEA. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, send me a message in Patreon and I will answer them next month on camera. Just make sure that you ask the question and say that you want me to answer it on camera as well, because otherwise I'll answer it directly, because as you know, Patreon subscribers get a direct contact with me. So if you ever have any questions, just send me a message and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Anyway, I think that is all from me this month. I'm sure there's something I've forgotten, but to summarise, super tired, but thank you all for sticking with me, because you mean the absolute world to me. Honestly, every single one of you. And yeah, do you know what? I hope you've enjoyed a glass of whiskey with me, and I'll see you next episode of Stu's Reviews normal stuff, or next month. See you there.